I'm just a regular 15-year-old boy. I go to a regular school in Ohio, I play basketball and football, and surprisingly, I love to play video games. I'm usually into single-player games like Fallout or The Last of Us, but recently I'd started playing Fortnite, since it seemed like I was the only person at school who wasn't playing it, and I wanted something that I could play with my friends. Surprisingly enough, I really enjoyed the game. It wasn't really that tough, and playing with my friends is really fun. Nothing beats coming home after a tough day at school and playing squads with your friends, laughing well into the night. I'm not afraid to admit I may have got a little addicted to the experience and to Fortnite as a whole, to the point where I found myself playing duos and squads with complete strangers. This would turn out to be the worst decision I ever made. One Saturday night I felt like playing some games, so I jumped onto my PlayStation. Sadly, none of my friends were available to play, so I decided to jump into duos with some randoms. I played 3, maybe 4 games, but I wasn't really enjoying it. My teammates never spoke, and worst of all, they never listened, so I never did any better than finishing in 25th. I decided I'd try one more game, and if it sucked, I was logging off. And thankfully it didn't suck. Initially, anyway. After a few seconds of queuing, I was matched with a player named Queen Stormborn 2003. A girl gamer, I thought. Turned out they were. A high-pitched and girly voice came through the mic greeting me with a simple but adorable, "Hi." I said hey back, and we talked for a bit. I can't really remember what was said, but it isn't important, just regular teenage stuff. We played our game and I had great fun. She didn't talk too much, but she listened to everything I said, and we did pretty good, finishing in 8th place. After the game was over, however, she had to log off. This was a little upsetting, as I'd been playing all night long trying to find a good game, and when I finally got one, the other player left. However, before she logged off, she added me on PlayStation and sent me a message with her Snapchat username. So I quickly added her and sent a message saying hey. And she replied pretty quickly, and the picture was just of a wall, but it said, "Hey, show your face." So, I don't know, I quickly responded with a picture of me laying on my bed, saying, "Is this okay?" 10 seconds later, I got the notification for a reply. I opened the snap and I was pretty confused. Caption said, "Looks great," but the picture wasn't of a girl. It was like a 40-year-old man in a dark room. He had random tufts of hair and this scary wise grin and deep sullen eyes, as if he'd never slept once in his life. I thought it was some weird joke, and I responded, "Lol, who's that?" A few minutes passed before I heard the Snapchat sound, and she'd responded, this time with a video. When I opened the video, I almost got sick. It was that creepy man again, looking right into the camera. And then he spoke, saying, "It's me. Do you like me?" But he said it with that same high-pitched girly voice that had initially greeted me on Fortnite. My stomach sunk and I instantly blocked the account. It took me a few moments to calm down, but eventually I was able to relax and go to bed. Anyway, 2 days passed and I'd moved on from that creepy moment. After a long day of school and basketball practice, I finished my homework and relaxed with my friends on Fortnite before going to bed, maybe around 10:30 p.m. But I was woken up at 2 a.m. to some noises outside my window that sounded a bit like tapping. At first I brushed it off as nothing and I tried to get back to sleep, but the tapping continued. I had no idea what the noise was, so I got up and I went over to the window. But I stopped halfway after I noticed a silhouette of a man standing on the other side of the window. Then it hit me. My snap map. That creep would have seen my location. I should have went straight to my parents' room, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I opened my curtains only to see that same man with his creepy psychotic face up against the window. I let out a huge scream, and he just started shouting, "Let me in!" while banging his fist on the window. The commotion must have woken up my parents, because my dad came sprinting into my room, only to see the man attempting to break through the window. The man attempts to get down off the roof outside my window when he saw my dad, but my dad got down the stairs and out the door just as he jumped down. My dad tackled the creep to the ground and kept him restrained with the help of some neighbours until the police arrived and took him away. He just kept repeating that he just wanted to play and have some fun. This all happened a few weeks ago, and I'm glad that creep is behind bars. And I know for sure I won't be giving out my details to strangers online, and I'll stick to playing Fortnite with friends. I've been playing games competitively for around 5 years now. I used to play Call of Duty a lot, but since Fortnite burst onto the scene, that's been my poison of choice. I play competitively with 3 other guys from my area. Our team's called Never Scared. We play a lot of local and regional tournaments, but we usually do pretty well, even won a few. Our form meant we were invited to our state championships, where the winning team would go on to play in the national championships. We put in a good showing for ourselves, reaching the semi-finals, before losing out to the eventual winners. The tournament was hosted at Comic and Games Convention, so we stuck around afterwards and checked out what the con had to offer. Sometime later, I really had to go to the bathroom, but when I got to the bathroom the queue was massive. I genuinely couldn't wait that long, so I found a volunteer and asked if there was anywhere else I could go. He kindly told me that there was an older bathroom in the basement of the building. It was a little dirty, but better than waiting 30 minutes to use a toilet. I thanked him and headed towards where he told me to go. The metal steps down to the basement were in a pretty secluded area of the building, with hardly any lighting. Nonetheless, I headed down the steps, down the barely lit corridor until I reached the decrepit door for the bathroom. I pushed the door open and asked, "Is anyone in here?" There was no response, so I slowly walked into this dark and dirty bathroom. The smell in there was unbearable. It probably hadn't been cleaned in years. Suddenly I heard a noise and jumped. Once again I asked, was anyone in here? But again, no answer. A moment later I heard a noise again. It sounded like someone moaning, but not the good kind, like a moan of pain. The moans were disrupted intermittently by choking coughs. I knew someone was in here now. I followed the noise down towards the back of the bathroom. It kept getting louder. However, as I got closer to the noise, I stopped in my tracks as a pool of blood flowed out from under the cubicle. Now, logic said I should have ran at that moment, but instead I pushed open the slightly ajar cubicle door to find a teenage boy laying in a pool of his own blood. I wanted to help him up, but as I walked towards him I noticed a large pair of black boots standing in the cubicle next to us. I had a weird feeling in my mind. Instinctively looked up. When I did, I saw a masked man peering over the cubicle right at me. I screamed and I sprinted for the door. I heard the cubicle door smash open behind me as I sprinted out the door and to the left back towards the convention. As I sprinted, I heard the sound of heavy boots pounding against the floor as the man chased me. I took one look back and saw a giant man dressed all in black speeding towards me with a large knife in his hand. He must have been over 6'5", but he was fast for his size. I kept sprinting right up the steps and towards the main area. The light would shine from the area like a shining light of safety. When I reached the main area, I looked back and I could not see the man. I instantly ran to the first police officer present at the event. When I did, she and her partner went down to the bathroom, but the man was nowhere to be found. The boy was rushed to a local hospital. Thankfully, he survived, though he will have a long road to recovery. He said that the man attacked him in the bathroom with a knife a few moments before I arrived. I hate to think what would happen to him if I'd waited in line for the main bathrooms, or what would have happened to me if the man was just a slight bit faster.